Hello friends, today I am going to explain an American animated anthology movie named Love, Death and Robots. This movie is about a giant's dead body that washed ashore. At the start of the movie, 3 scientists drive to a beach. One of them, named Steven, narrates about a giant's dead body that washed ashore. The day before, a huge storm hit the sea, bringing the naked giant's corpse to the shore. The local fishermen, shocked by the sight, reported it to the authorities. At first, the officials did not believe such unbelievable news. But as more people visited the beach and shared strange stories, the scientists decided to check it out themselves. Steven and his colleagues thought the whole thing was a joke. But now, standing in front of the giant's body, they see that it is real. A crowd gathers around the corpse, afraid to touch it until they are sure it's safe. Steven's colleagues estimate that the giant weighs about 80 tons. Looking at the giant's nose and mouth, Steven believes he was a young man with a calm personality. As they examine the body, Steven notices a pool of water collected in the giant's palm, where tiny fish swim. What surprises him the most is not the giant's size, but the fact that he even exists. Steven compares the giant to the people on the beach, thinking they are just smaller and imperfect versions of him. While he stares at the body, one of his colleagues climbs onto the giant's chest and waves to the crowd, signaling that it is safe. The people cheer and rush forward. Some climb on top, describing the body as soft and bouncy. Children start playing, stomping on his chest. Steven, however, stays back, watching and taking notes with his colleagues. After some time, the excitement fades and people leave. 3 days later, Steven returns to the beach. His curiosity about the giant has grown, so his workplace assigns him to observe the corpse. Steven does not see it as simply watching a dead body. He feels the giant is more alive than the people around him. He watches as children slide down the giant's chest and workers discuss cutting off his femur bone. The corpse has become public property. The next day, Steven delays his visit until late afternoon when no one is around. By then, the giant's body has started to rot. A teenage girl sits on his ear like a chair. His face looks older than before, likely due to seawater and swollen tissues. A crab crawls out of the giant's mouth, and Steven realizes it won't be long before the body fully decays. Finally, Steven steps onto the corpse. On the chest, he sees a sandcastle someone built. Looking at the arm, he notices that half of it is gone, either rotted away or taken by people. The giant's eyes are cloudy, making them look like whirlpools. Steven thinks that the giant's loneliness is sadder than his death. On his next visit, both arms and one leg have disappeared. The body is now covered in graffiti from teenagers. Steven hesitates to see the end of this once great creature, but the insults make him feel the giant is more human, vulnerable like people. The next day, he sees that the corpse's head is gone. Birds peck at the remaining flesh. Without the head, the body looks less human, weakening Steven's connection to it. For weeks, Steven avoids the beach. When he finally returns, any sign that the body was once human is gone. Only the decaying insides remain. By now, the giant is forgotten, and people have lost interest. Months later, pieces of his body are scattered around town. His bones are used as decorations. While cycling, Steven spots the giant's skull left abandoned. He assumes other parts, like his nose and ears, might be displayed in bars. Strangely, Steven thinks these remains capture the giant's greatness better than his own memories of the rotting body. The giant's genitals were cut off and put in a circus museum, labeled as part of a whale. People now only remember him as a sea monster. But to Steven, the giant is still alive. He dreams of the giant rising again, collecting his scattered body parts, and walking back into the sea. The short episode carries deep meaning. Fans have different interpretations, but many believe that Steven and the giant are connected. Some think the giant speaks through Steven, or that Steven himself is the giant. The way Steven describes the body's decay in such detail makes it seem like he is experiencing it himself. The giant's decay is also a metaphor. At first, his body naturally decomposes. Then, people start cutting him up and treating him like an object. To Steven, this shows the cruel reality of consumerism and exploitation. As the body loses its human form, Steven questions what it really means to be human. He first saw the giant as more human than himself, but when the body became just flesh, his sympathy faded. Throughout the story, we never learn who the giant was or where he came from. The drowned giant focuses on how Steven and the crowd feel about him. The book by J.G. Ballard ends by mentioning the giant's genitals being displayed in a circus, emphasizing his humiliation. Though he was greater than all of them, People reduced him to a mere curiosity. His bones became decorations, and his genitals were mislabeled as a whale's, erasing his humanity. Yet, Stephen sees these remains as proof of the giant's greatness. Even though he remembers the giant better than anyone, he believes the preserved body parts tell a stronger story than his own fading memories. The giant was a mystery before he washed up on shore. For a short time, people marveled at him, but soon, they forgot, turning him back into a myth. Like the giant, humans will one day be forgotten. We may live on in memories for a while, but eventually, those too will disappear, and we will cease to exist. So friends, that's all for today's video. See you in the next video. Subscribe for more videos like this and turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thanks for watching.